we were pretty close to the time, and I just decided to go ahead and hit the button. I see there's 4 or 5 people waiting. Please give me maybe a thumbs up in the comments if you're hearing me okay, and I'll give the video a little time to catch up with me, because it is about a 20 to 30 second delay. And I'm not seeing anything in the comments just yet, but they'll come up. They will be here. While you're doing that, let me just adjust my camera a little bit so that I am maybe a little more in line. I'm on a very minimal camera setup here on my phone. I'll show that to you later at another time. Let me see. What is this down here? No, this is okay. I don't need that. There we go. All right. Good day, sunshine. Can you hear me okay? That's the biggest question. And New Jersey. Whoa. Okay. We will. Thank you. I appreciate that. We'll get a couple of things out of the way before I get into the questions we're here for. This is the first time I've done a live stream on this channel, and I really didn't, I don't know what to expect as far as people showing up. I tried to pick a time that was decent, but maybe not the best. I don't know. I have a microphone on the end of my camera, and I'm hooked up to a stand that is magnetic, and I think it keeps leaning on me, so we'll just have to live with that. Ah, Sand Scratcher, I know where you're from. Welcome, buddy. A couple of quick things. I have checked in with my family and several of my friends that live in Florida, anywhere from Fort Myers to St. Pete, Bradenton, over near Daytona Beach. They all tell me they're fine. And so I'm very glad to hear that. We got some rain here today. It's about quit now. They closed the schools here because of possible flooding, and we may have that in some parts. I don't know. And because of possible high winds. We didn't get any high wind. We got some wind, but hey, Phil, how you doing, buddy? Are you working today? Maybe I shouldn't ask that question. I didn't know if maybe y'all had shut down since so many other places in town have. I have my mug, so you don't have to say your say. It's just some people do. People are here from all over, and I appreciate that. I set this up on my phone, and there it is leaning again. I have to work on that. I set this up on my phone when I scheduled it, and there was not an option that I saw to turn on the comments to stay live during the replay of the video. So that may be an issue. I don't know. Pretty sure I set it up to not be monetized, so you shouldn't have ads interrupting. But once the video is finished, the live stream's over, and I'm really not going to like that. Once the live stream is over and we are done, the video uploads, I'll turn monetization on. So if you're watching this, on a replay, you might get an ad or two. We'll see. And then just before coming on, I was scrolling through X just to catch up with the news, and I saw that Maggie Smith from Downton Abbey and Harry Potter passed away today at 89 years old. So my condolences to her family. She was a fantastic actor. All right, so we're going to get into some of the questions. I put a post up a few days ago asking people to give me questions either about this channel, maybe some technical questions that I needed to explain further, or just life in general questions. And I got quite a few, so we got a ways to go. And when I'm done answering these questions, I'll see if there are any in the comments. Don't post any questions right now because I'll miss them. Wait until I invite you to do that, okay? And in the meantime, I'm just going to have to live with the fact that this phone is going to just keep leaning just a little bit because of this microphone that's hanging off the end of it. I'm on a magnetic phone holder, and that's why it's moving a little bit. Lesson learned. I won't use this for a live stream anymore. So somebody asked, I'm not going to read out all the names because some people use their real names. Some people use a channel name. I'm just going to tell you what the question is. What's the one thing you would never do again if you had the means of paying someone to do it for you for the rest of your life? Exercise. You know, I don't really know of anything serious to say about that because, you know, I mean, even if it came down to cleaning the house or making the bed, I have somebody that does that. And so, you know, we hire a lawn service to mow the yard and take care of that. I'm going to have to see if I can beef that phone up just a little bit. So there's really no serious answer to that of anything that I would do. You know, I want to travel on my own. I don't want anybody to do that for me. I don't want anybody cooking for me. I love to cook. But exercise, that would be good. And then they also ask if you could only have one YouTube channel as a creator, which one would you pick? That's a toughie. I have 4 at the moment. One of them is inactive, but out of those channels, probably, and don't be upset because I didn't choose this one, but probably the New Retired Me channel. And the reason that I would stick with that, not just because you know, it has the most subscribers and you know whatever, but there's a huge community following there that I really love, and a lot of you that are here came here from there. And also, because of the sort of non-specific nature of the channel, if I wanted to do a video, I'm just gonna raise this every once in a while. If you're watching this on replay, I apologize. Because of the nature of the channel, if I wanted to do a photography video on that channel, I could. If I wanted to take 30 days and post a video every day like I'm doing here, I could. So I could do everything that I'm doing across 3 channels, I could do on that one channel. And I really love the community that's being built there. So that would be it. A friend of mine, personal friend of mine, asked, what are your top 3 places in the States that you would like to visit to do photography? And I get why that's a question because I keep going overseas. I took a trip several years ago with the Discovery Educator Network to Bozeman, Montana, and we visited Yellowstone and the Grand Tetons, and I would love to go back to those 2 places again on my own. Maybe car camp there or something. I just think they're lovely. There is a few places in Arizona, you know, the painted canyons and stuff that are there that I would love to go to. Because I think they would make great landscape photography. And then I am going to plan, hopefully sometime, sort of a bucket list trip. I'd love to go to Alaska. I'd love to do some wildlife photography from the boat in Alaska. I have toyed with the idea of going to Orca Island, which is off the coast of Washington, Seattle. And it just looks like a fun place to go and do some whale watching. So those are places that are on that list. I remember you setting up a treadmill in your editing room, but I didn't hear any more about it. How did that work out? I would have thought the movement of walking would have interfered with the editing process. Was the treadmill part of the loot that advertisers send you? No, I bought that with my own money. I saw it on Katie Stickley. I think that's her name, Stickley. I saw that on her account when she was on her YouTube channel when she was setting up her office. And there are some times in editing that it is a real problem. But for general kinds of things that I do in editing, I can turn it on and still use it. It's there. I have not moved it. Sometimes I turn it on. It has a remote control, so I'll turn it on and walk. And then sometimes I just leave it off and just stand on it, hoping maybe I can, you know, get some kind of benefit. So I don't use it 100% of the time when I'm standing at the computer, but I do use it. And the times that I use it, it works just fine. The only complaint I have about it, in case you look for one on, because I bought mine off of Amazon. I don't remember what I paid for it, like $150 or something. With somebody my weight, it sort of gives a little in the middle as you walk, and that takes a little getting used to. Other than that, it works just fine. What do you do for fun? I'm sure the YouTube channels are fun, but do you have another fun hobby? Photography. Even if I didn't have the YouTube channel for photography, photography is something I do for fun. Writing is something I do for fun. So yeah, there are, and laying on the couch watching TV, I do that for fun. I get this question a lot. Do you ever think about subbing part-time? Would it put a dent in your retirement life? And I can honestly say, no, I never think about subbing part-time. I am, oh man, this is gonna be awful on the replay of me adjusting this camera all the time. I am done with that part of my life. I'm done. Now, I did get into a conversation with somebody the other day where they're thinking maybe their principal is not going to make it. And I did volunteer. I said, you call your superintendent, tell them if they're looking for a sub for him, I'll be happy to come in for 4 or 6 weeks, whatever, knowing full well that's never going to happen. But no, I don't think about subbing. I far prefer my life in Tennessee over my years in Arkansas. Both have nice things to offer. What about you? Do you have a preference? Tennessee definitely over Arkansas, but that's largely due probably to where I'm from in Arkansas, which is right smack dab in the middle of rice and soybean country, and it is flat as a pancake. And it's not like being in Tennessee where you got mountains and those kinds of things. It just does not have that appeal. And now I've lived in Tennessee so long, I can't imagine living anywhere else, to be honest with you, unless it's Italy. My husband and I are looking to buy a new vehicle. I think I answered this online, but I'm partial to German cars, and I'm interested in the Volkswagen Tiguan. How does it measure up to you, and are you happy with your purchase? I am happy with my purchase, even though this particular model, the 2019 model of the Tiguan, had some problems. Now, they've since solved those problems, I understand, from everything I've read online, and those problems cost me some money. I had a leaky roof that I had to get fixed. That was a couple of $1,000s. I had a sensor that went out that was sort of vital, and that was another couple of $1,000s. So when you work on these things, they're not cheap, but they are, I do enjoy it. I had a Passat, I had a Volkswagen Passat before the Tiguan, and I really liked that car. I really did. In fact, I liked it so much that I convinced my mom to buy one. She has one that is now 10 years old, and it has, I think, 24,000 miles on it. So it's really getting a workout. Let's see. If you had to do it all again, would you do a daily video? Yes. Although I have to say at this point, we're like on video 270 something out of 365. And at this point, it's getting a little hard to come up with something new every day. I was inspired for this by a YouTuber by the name of Casey Neistat. You may be familiar with him. He is the king of YouTube as far as I'm concerned. And he did a daily vlog years ago. He did about, I think, 160 plus days. No, I'm sorry, 860 plus days. I don't think that's what I said the first time. Of a video every single day. And, really the only way that you can do that is to shoot in such a way to make your editing as seamless as possible. So as much as I can, it doesn't always work out this way, but as much as I can, I try to shoot everything chronologically. So I don't have to go searching for video clips. I can just pull them into the edit line and crop them down and get it done. And that makes the editing process go a lot faster. Would you consider giving us your PO address? I don't have one. I only have a street address. Maybe at some point I'll open a PO box, but at this point I have no interest in that. If you could pick anyone in the world, who would you like to have coffee and conversation with? Well, you didn't specify living or dead. And I think the person I would love to have a conversation with is my dad. He's been gone now for over 40 years. But as far as somebody that is living in the world, maybe someone like Thomas Heaton, who is a UK landscape photographer. I find his work interesting. But other than him, I would say Sean Tucker. I don't know why that name didn't come to me originally. Sean Tucker is a powerful photographer. He is a philosopher of sorts. He used to be a minister, I think, he was a minister in South Africa. And he's just fascinating to me. So I think I would choose him. I've been watching your videos to get a better understanding of how to improve my own videos on my iPhone 15 Pro. I recently took a trip to Key West to film some videos and photos of my childhood memories. Came back with a lot of nice materials, and now I have questions for you. So here they are. When you're filming with the phone, do you use the video feature in your camera app, or are you filming with another app? I am just using the native iPhone camera app. I will eventually, probably after this year is over and we move into phase 2 of this channel, I fully intend to go to the Blackmagic camera app to video. There's a lot of things involved with that I don't have to worry about with the native camera app, like what is the lighting outside compared to the lighting inside. The native camera app just adjusts for that, but at a cost, because it has a cost of the shutter speed compared to the frame rate. If you go to the Blackmagic app, then you've got to have filters and those kinds of things to keep everything the same. But that's my goal. How do you hit the start button and then stop for each clip? Well, I do that a couple of ways. Sometimes I get the shot lined up and I click start, and then I walk into the scene, I come back and I click stop, and I just edit it out. But I also have a Bluetooth clicker that I use a lot, and that clicker hooks up to the phone. If I press it, it will start the video. If I press it again, it will stop the video. I think I did a video about that on this channel maybe very early on. And I can be standing, 50, 75 feet away, and it will work. And that cuts out a lot of the editing process when I remember to take it with me. What film editing app do you recommend to put a little movie together to share with my family? Well, I'm on the iPhone, and the iMovie does a great job with that. It's very simple. But a lot of people that I know who are doing it on mobile devices are using either Canva or CapCut. You can check those out. Most of my editing is done in DaVinci Resolve, and that requires getting the video footage off the phone and onto my computer. Right now, everything I have is on my cell phone, and I'm working through iMovie, but I want to add music from my YouTube playlist, and I'm wondering if this is the best method or not. You can add music in iMovie, but I'm not sure, because I haven't actually done this. I'm not sure that you can add the movie and keep your narration. I don't know about that. But I know in Canva and CapCut you can. If you're adding music out of your YouTube playlist, just make sure that it's copyright free. Otherwise, you can get a strike, and 3 strikes and your video channel's gone. Okay, now let's go on to the next one. What is the one thing you would never do again? Oh, yeah, I already read that one. Question 1, will you get an iPhone 16 Pro Max before your vacation in Italy? That's a great question, and originally I thought I might, but the answer to that question at this point is no. And one of the reasons for that is I can't afford it, but also there are some features on the iPhone 16 Pro that are coming, but they're not available right now. So why jump the gun? I'll probably upgrade, but it will probably be sometime after the first of the year. Have you ever done portraits? Let's just say no and leave it at that, because I suck at taking pictures of people. And I don't know the lighting techniques, and I don't know all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've taken a few, but mostly of family members and things, but I wouldn't call myself a portrait photographer. Will you ever finish your book? Yes. I don't know when, but yes. And then, how can you sleep in your car for 2 days? Do you feel like a homeless person and get stinky too? You know, sleeping for a couple of days is not a problem. I wouldn't want to sleep in there for a week. There is, I think I've mentioned this before, but there is, maybe on my other channel, there is a photographer that I follow. His channel title is AOWS. And I think he's from Spain, but he lives in the United States, and he did like 60 days in Scotland sleeping in his car every single night. Not an SUV, but his car. And yes, he was very happy to get to a shower. When I'm camping, the places I've camped has showers available. I'm not really taking advantage of that. I have shower wipes that I use to sort of wash off in the morning, put on fresh deodorant, change my t-shirt, change my shirt, all those kinds of things. So it's really not as bad as it seems, as long as I've got just a little air blowing on me. And I usually keep ambient music playing off my phone very, very quietly, just so that I'm not listening to the sound of nothing outside my car. They sum up by saying, I've been questioning your sanity, but I came to the conclusion you're having fun. I am having fun. I really am. You know, some people have asked me, why don't you just get a tent? I don't want a tent. I want to sleep in a car. Let's see. Hello, Tim. When are we going to get some merch? A mug and a hoodie would do nicely. You know, I'm actually thinking about this across all 3 channels by starting an Etsy store. That will probably come sometime after the first of the year, when I give myself a little break of things that I'm doing. But, you know, a mug like this is really easy to do. And I'm thinking about particular t-shirts, maybe not hoodies so much, but t-shirts for the retired channel. I have a couple of ideas for that. After watching Gabe Bolt's video on how to start an Etsy store and what to do with that, I'm thinking, what's the worst that could happen? I could sell nothing. That's the worst that could happen. Let's see. I see you there in the comments. What has been your favorite video to film, and which video are you most proud of? Oh, that's really, really hard. I think even though I wasn't happy with the final result as much as I hoped I would, the video that I did in black and white about enjoying the silence, that was really fun to make. Right now, I think the video I'm most proud of might be yesterday's video on the rain. And part of the reason for that is I thought the narration turned out pretty good. I will revisit that video again because I have some ideas of how to improve the video shots. So the next time it's raining like that, I may go out and try to recreate that with a new narration. All right. Do you worry about running out of ideas for videos? That would be my number one concern, though I'd never have a YouTube channel because I'm boring and introverted anyway. Join the crowd of boring and introverted people. That would be me. And yes, I do worry about running out of things to do, and there are a few things that I do for that. One is YouTube itself has a section in it that suggests ideas based on what you've already done. So I have looked at that. It hasn't really helped me much yet, but I have looked at that. I get a daily news email about Chattanooga called Nooga Today, and it gives me a lot of information about upcoming events. It gave me the information about the Bacon and Barrel Festival that is tonight that I will go to. I bought the ticket, and that will be tomorrow's Life in Motion video. That ticket will give me samples of food that are bacon themed and samples of whiskey and bourbon, which I won't partake of too much because I have to drive home. But yes, so I look at that a lot. I know from that there is like an overlanding thing coming to Camp Jordan. I may try to get out to that. I know about some other, concerts and other things. Yeah, so I kind of look there. And then last of all, I use artificial intelligence. And I will put in a thing that says something about, I live in Chattanooga. And if I was looking at something within 30 miles of Chattanooga, what are some interesting places to go, interesting places to see? And it will give me a list. I'll just say, give me a list of 30 things or 50 things, and it will spit out a list of some stuff I've never heard of. So, I'm looking at new ideas in those kinds of ways. But then there's also like the rain video. I want to go back and remake that video. There's a couple of coffee shop videos I'd like to go back and remake now that I know a little more about how I'd like to shoot them, and what I would like for them to be. Let's see. We're almost done, I think. Where are we at here? 27 minutes. Wow. You mentioned before that you're not much of a people person. I'm not. Yet you were in education for a while. How did you cope with all the people interactions during that time? I retired from teaching 30 years myself, missing the teaching part, but not all the paperwork mandates. Education was a lot of fun for me. I have no problem standing in front of a crowd of people and talking, so standing in front of a classroom and teaching is not a problem. Standing in front of this camera and talking is not a problem. Even doing, I did some professional development in national conferences where I might have 200 or 300 people in the room, not a problem. It's sitting down one-on-one in a group of 2 or 3 or 4 people where I tend to go quiet because I'm listening and I'm paying attention, and sometimes when I have strong opinions, I'm trying really hard to bite my tongue so that I don't spew them out in front of everybody. But having said that, it is exhausting for an introvert to be around people like that all day long. And I needed my decompression time. And for the last, 13 years of my career, I was driving home an hour and a half from work, sometimes 2 hours, depending on traffic. And that was my own decompression time, just sitting alone in the car, listening to some music, rethinking some of the things that went on during the day. That helped me survive. So, yeah, I don't. Obviously, I can say that I don't miss the teaching part because I'm still doing that on these YouTube channels. So I still have an outlet for that. I just don't have to go into the classroom and deal with all of that anymore. Do you have a case on your iPhone 15 Pro Max? If not, how many times have you dropped it? The answer to that question is no. I don't use a case. I haven't used a case since maybe the iPhone 13. It was a problem when the iPhone had a glass back because I have dropped it and broken a couple of iPhones. But the newer iPhones have a titanium back, and I have dropped this phone probably 10 times on concrete, sometimes screen down. And I have, maybe a couple of nicks around the edge, but I have nothing broken. The phone has never had to be repaired. This thing is almost indestructible. And I like the feel of the phone without a case. They've made it purposefully thin, and I don't want to bulk that back up and lose that. It has a certain feel to it without a case, and I enjoy that. Let's see. Do you prefer specific destinations when going out to take photos? Would you find it exciting and challenging if you had a driver and were able to watch out the window on back roads for shots that are money shot worthy? I do take some trips like that where I'm the driver. In fact, I have a photo shoot sort of in my mind to drive from here to Red Clay State Park. There is a particular path that goes along roads where there are a lot of barns, sort of old, dilapidated kinds of barns just sitting off the road. And I will be making that trip soon and just stopping on the side of the road, getting out, taking some pictures. I plan to do that around sunrise, so I'm kind of waiting on that one for a little bit. Do I prefer specific destinations? Yes and no. If it's landscape photography, I want it to be a specific destination. I want to go to a specific waterfall, or I want to go to a specific mountain range. But if it's just going downtown to take pictures, I just kind of randomly choose where I go and figure out how to make the best of that I can. And after this rain that we're getting, I'm hoping to get out to see a waterfall again very soon, because they should be just beautiful in about 5 days. All right, my first question is a personal one. I've wondered about the ring you wear and what the significance of it is. So let's start with that. This is, see if I can get this up here where it might. This is a Tau ring, T-A-U. I bought this ring in Assisi, Italy, 7 or 8 years ago when our school EF Tours trip was there. This was, the Tau is like, this is the letter that Francis of Assisi used to sign his name. So I was immediately drawn to the story of St. Francis and have been ever since, and it is a central theme of the book that I'm attempting to write. And in the last 7 or 8 years, this ring has rarely ever been off of my hand. So that's the story of the ring. And then a business question. What happens to your YouTube channel if you happen to pass away? Does it continue to earn money? And if so, who gets the money? Is that part of your inheritance, and whoever is in charge of your estate becomes the person who earns the money? I'm guessing your channel won't earn as much after a while. Yeah, I'm guessing that too. But these videos are on here, and they may pop up occasionally, so I wondered how YouTube deals with creators. The money is set up to go directly to my bank account. And so the bank account will become part of the escrow of my will, and the executor of my will have access to that account to pull that money out if there's any there on a month-to-month or year-to-year basis, and continue that. They will also have the power to turn monetization off if they wish and just let the videos stay online but not worry about any more payments. They're just there for posterity, as it were. I have given that a little bit of a thought, but I haven't really dove into that as much as I should. All right, 2 questions. 1, iPhone over Android for video? Not really. Every smartphone has really, really great cameras at this point. And if I think you say you're a Samsung user, they've got phones that have really great cameras. The problem with going from iPhone to Android and then back to iPhone is the same thing, the same problem you have with going from Canon to Nikon or Nikon to Sony. The camera body is not that much. The phone is not that much. It's the apps that you invest in that you then have to replace and pay for again. That's a problem. And so there is a phone, there is a OnePlus 12 that I have seen on a couple of videos that has a Hasselblad camera. And I've thought about buying that phone just to use for video. And it is an Android. And they're about to come up with the OnePlus 13, so I may wait for that. We'll see. Shooting video in low light, like a concert or city street, how is that handled? On the iPhone in-camera app, it's all handled by the phone. And so you can basically adjust electronically how much light you're letting in to sort of minimize the noise. But obviously, if it's too dark, it's just not going to work. But that's the nice part about using the in-camera app, is that it judges the light for you, and it makes all of the in-camera adjustments you need to continue to get that light as you video. And that looks like the end of it. Now, I think there were a couple of questions that might have passed by me earlier that I could not respond to, and it's too late for me to scroll back up that far. So if you ask a question before and I've not answered it yet, put it back in the comments. If you have a question, you've been patiently waiting until I got done talking, you can put that in the comments. And I'll try to deal with those as they come up. We're at the 37-minute mark, so I don't want to keep you too long today, but if I'm going to the Bacon and Barrel Fest later on, I'm going to have a nap soon, which is my daily habit. All right, I see we have 43 on here at the moment. That is absolutely fantastic. And I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes here. I'm trying to think if there's any other news or anything that I need to give you. Yeah, I'd really like to see. I'd really like to see that phone in action. And I understand that Best Buy sells them, so I may just go up there and look. And they sell for about the same price as an iPhone, so I could very easily keep my iPhone 15 Pro as a phone and then buy that model as my camera. I'm just kind of playing around with that. Does your Jetboil Genesis fit in your Cydio crate? Not the way I would like for it to. It's too wide to go across the narrow side of the crate, and it's just a little tall, so it kind of pushes up on the lid. So I'm thinking that the Jetboil is just going to have to stay in its case with a little handle piece that comes with it, and not put it in one of those crates, unless I decide to take the dividers out entirely and just lay it down flat, which I could do, but it kind of defeats the purpose of having the Cydio crate. So that's a great question, because it is something that I was wondering about after my last camping trip. And if you'll see behind me back here, which direction am I looking here? The door. Anyway, there's two closets on either side of that hallway behind me, and in one of those closets is where I normally store all of my camping stuff, and it's just sitting in the floor, and it's a mess. And now that I've got more and more stuff, I need to make some sense out of it. So there's a closet across the hallway that has a space for me to actually organize it. And guess what? I'm going to video that for the new Retired Me channel. Yeah, you noticed, didn't you? Yeah, I'm starting to heal up. My head's starting to heal up. I'm feeling great. I have no complaints. Nothing's broken. Nothing's I'm good. I thought my hip would be the thing that hurt me the most. It's giving me no problems whatsoever. Somebody asked if I have a pet. No, I do not have a pet. I have had a couple of dogs in the past. And right now, first of all, this is not my house. And my mom is not into pets, so I don't have one. And even if it was my house, I probably still would not have a pet, because as much as I love dogs, and I do love them, cats not so much, I'm sorry to say, but I do love dogs. There is the real hassle when you want to take a week or 2 weeks and go on vacation, and you can't put them on the plane with you to the UK or Italy or wherever you want to go. And I just don't feel right about that. So no pets. I think I'm over pets at this point. Am I going to try a brisket to smoke on the grill? It's not really a smoking grill. It is designed to cook pretty fast. So no, I don't think I'll be doing that. However, if one of these grill companies were to offer me a smoker, I probably wouldn't say no. Let's see. I just missed a comment. Let me go back in here and see why I'm not seeing any comments. There we go. Live chat. Okay, there we go. Cats will take care of themselves. Dogs, not so much. Yeah, that's true. I still don't like them. It's funny because when I'm at a place that has a cat, they love me. And I have no problem with them in my lap and, stroking their fur and that kind of stuff. I'm just a dog guy. That's all I can tell you. I'll ask Smokey Joe's to send you a smoker. Please do. I would appreciate that. Although I think I have to take a break from affiliate links for a while because I have overindulged in order to get some camping equipment for nothing. And I think people are tired of watching those videos. Let's see. What made you decide to do the carnivore diet? That's a great question. And somebody's asked me why I haven't made a video about that for my new Retired Me channel. And one of the reasons is I have so many people that are opposed to it. I don't want to look at the comments. And then I have some that are vegetarian or vegans, and they're not interested in that at all. So I just try to keep that to myself, except for saying that's what I am. I have done research on the health benefits of the carnivore diet, and I find that it's a really good next step after going low carb, like something with the Atkins diet or that kind of thing, which I was on for a while, South Beach diet. And it's not that I'm opposed to vegetables or fruit. I love vegetables and fruit. I eat them, no problem. Even now, I will eat them sometimes because, I just, like when I go to the Chinese buffet with my mom, they have plenty of options to go strictly carnivore, but I will eat some steamed mushrooms or some cabbage, steamed cabbage that they have there, because they're practically 0 calories and 0 carbs, so I don't worry about that. But I can say that when I eat food with carbs, I eat a lot. I just cannot stop eating. And when I eat the carnivore diet and I'm eating protein and fat, I am full for a long time. So like this morning, I had a ribeye steak cooked medium rare and about 1/3 of a stick of butter. And I just put that on top of the steak and rubbed it around so that it melted into the steak. Oh my God, that is so good. There are so many health benefits from the carnivore diet. My blood pressure is better. If you look at a channel like Nutrition with Judy, she is a nutritionist, health coach who specializes in the carnivore diet. People who have inflammation lose their inflammation when they go on the carnivore diet. Their joints are better. Their arthritis is better. it's just it is indescribable how much better I feel eating this way, and when I go off of it, I don't feel so great. So let me come back and see what I just missed again. Let's see. Yeah, Hasselblad. Yeah, go check it out. 1 Plus. It's version 12 right now is out. Yeah, you know, and I mean, I love them. I love carbs. Don't get me wrong, man. At Thanksgiving, I will have a piece of pie. You know, I'm not going to make others feel guilty over my diet choices. But once I have a piece of pie, I have 5 pieces of pie. Let's see. How's the new broadband connection? Oh, so good. Where it used to take an hour to upload a Life in Motion Diaries video, and those videos are typically 5 minutes. Okay. Or it might take 3 hours to upload a 12 or 13 minute video. Now, when I click upload, while I am adding the thumbnail, writing the description, putting in the hashtag, selecting monetization, going through all the checks for monetization, all the things I have to do, all the steps I have to take, the video is done. And it's already processing. I mean, it's uploaded in minutes. And, oh gosh, you just don't have any idea how much better I feel with that. Yeah, low carb desserts are good, you know, and they take like, okay, so I wanted something sweet. And so I bought some ricotta cheese, very low carb. And I put maybe a half a cup with just a little bit of Splenda, or an artificial type sweetener, which I know is bad for you, but you know, sweetener. And then a couple of drops of vanilla, just mix that up. That satisfies the sweet tooth. So, yeah, you know, I'm not losing weight right now, but I know that I'm still eating too many calories. So, I give my assistant more respect. Yeah, the next time I make a video with myself in it, I'll try to do that. That's funny. Yeah, so we're at the 47-minute mark, and that's been a long time, and I appreciate y'all hanging out. Unless there's just a really burning, pressing question that pops up in the next few seconds, I think we're going to draw this thing to a close. I'm sitting here holding my phone so it doesn't go down again. This would have, appreciate it, Phil. This would have worked just fine if I had used my DJI mic, but I have a Rode shotgun mic plugged into the end of the video with a dead cat on it, and it's just heavy enough that this magnet holder won't hold it still. If I'd gone with my usual Joby, I could have done that. I will show you this setup in a future video because I really like this little holder, and it was only like 26 bucks. Okay, thank you all. Thanks for those nice words that just came up in the comments. I appreciate you all watching. I'm going to go ahead and shut this thing down, and it will be live for replay. I'll change it back to monetized at that time, and thank you all for coming. This has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.